Leeds United 7, Cardiff City 0. I have to be honest, guys, that is the most, I don't know if it's the most impressive, but wow. It's the most wow statement scoreline I've ever seen in my lifetime. Burnley, Southampton, we've got above 5 goals, but wow, 7-0. And I was at Ellen Road to experience the pleasure of 7 goals, and Leeds could have got 10. It was that affirmative. It was that, almost consolidation of how good we were on the day. I'm absolutely over the moon with what I saw today. I'm really happy to see you guys in the comment section below. I can see Joe, I can see Ryan, I can see Sid, I can see Rye again. Let us know in the comment section below. I'm absolutely over the moon. Leeds United 7, Cardiff 0. By the way, a team who'd been on the up in the last 8. This isn't a team who were just getting battered week in, week out. Cardiff City were doing very, very well in terms of that form table. It's all down to Connor's magic new glasses. I didn't have my glasses on today, mate. Hello, Connor. Is anybody there? We're all good. Andy, this is honestly, mate, this was a struggle at Leeds today. It was a real struggle. And I got a lift up at one point. I was very lucky to be in hospitality today. I got a lift up at one point, but I had to go up a segment of stairs to the toilet and down to the toilet several times. Very, very painful. Today, I'm really, really happy to be joined by 2 of the patrons. Guys, if you want to be part of the patrons, I've met these 2 fantastic blokes through Patreon, and I'm absolutely buzzing because I can tell these guys are going to be friends for life as well. Matt and Steve, who are top Leeds fans, love the club. And listen, if you want to become part of the Patreon membership as well, we've got a Gary Kelly tier right now, and your Gary Kelly tier basically means that you can come on to the instant match reactions. And these guys have signed up to it. And I have to say, Matt and Steve are top blokes. I'm really happy to get them on the post phone-in show as well. And this is your fan forum. I'm joined by Matt. I'm joined by Steve today. Matt, Leeds United 7, Cardiff City 0. Start me off, mate.
Oh, mate. I am so happy tonight. I've been waiting for this for 2 seasons with this team. This is what I love about the team when they're on it. We absolutely blew Cardiff away. And I was just saying earlier to Steve, you get that feeling though sometimes when we get those 2 goals, you're thinking, are we going to step on it or are we going to pull back? And that was at half time. And then as soon as those goals started going in, I was thinking, yeah, this is it. This is brilliant. We are absolutely going for it. The pressure, we just didn't stop with the pressure. It was like, for me, it was just like relentless. Everything clicked into place today. All the players.
Matt, 7-0. 7-0.
It's like, why wasn't it 10? No, I'm joking. I'm not going to be negative. Everything clicked. All those players that we've been debating over the last few weeks, it just all fell into place for them. And it just shows what happens when we actually start with that intensity. I know it's at home as well, but we're like a machine at home, and we stepped up properly today and put a shift in the whole thing. And we were up for it from the beginning. Sometimes we're a little bit, are we not? But we were up for it. Blew them away right to the final whistle. I love it. We were still going through it in the 88th minute, still charging forward to get more goals. And hopefully this is the confidence booster that we have now. Some of the players there hopefully have had a confidence booster, and we just need to take that into the next game now. So for me, this is real lift off for this season. Personally, pleased.
Steve, we don't normally hear Matt like that. Normally, there's something with Matt. There's something. There's like maybe 2 or 3 things of which we're thinking, oh, Matt's bringing us down here. I absolutely love Matt being on the show because he just brings us back down to reality. When Matt's good, Leeds are good, mate.
He's Mr. Consistent. Yeah, true. I must admit, coming into today, like you said, Cardiff 8 unbeaten. We knew that it wasn't going to be this easy. I honestly was expecting them to bring the game, and I was expecting maybe a 1-0, 2-0 win, stretch it 3-1, something like that. But I have to say, for me, man of the match, I'm surprised it wasn't Firpo. and I'm gonna, and I'll tell you why. Honestly, I have slagged this guy off, something chronic over the last few weeks, but today I thought he was absolutely phenomenal. And last week I said he was absolutely appalling.
Steve, so I've just put you off there, mate. This was sort of like one of the last times we played Cardiff, so we'll bring it back round, man. Carry on.
Yeah, Firpo was phenomenal. A couple of early passes in the beginning, in the first minute, they were poor, they were soft, and I was like, oh, you know. But as the game went on and on and on, I really, really thought to myself, you know what, this guy that's his position, playing deep, having the capacity to run, having the capacity to seek out players and get those balls through the gaps. And I thought today, if Farker doesn't play him like that every single week from now on, I think that there'll be an outcry, because Firpo has been slagged off in the media. He's been slagged off online. He's been slagged off by us. Everybody says he's shit. He don't deserve to be in the team. And I'm on my hand up. But today, give him his flowers. But I'm also putting it out there for Farker and saying you found his spot now. And for weeks, I've said it before. A few weeks ago, I prefer Firpo where he's got that opportunity to run and where he's got that opportunity to be able to, you know, have a go, have a run, and get in on that corner and smack it in that far post like I did today. I thought he played absolute. I thought he was the backbone today, and that's what's been. I'm not saying the midfield. I'm talking that gap between the midfield and the front, you know, the front two. I thought he was unbelievable, unplayable today.
Yeah, 3 assists, man. Like, yeah. And he came in. It's just the width in it, the width that he provides. We've been saying it. We've been saying it over here, haven't we? We've been saying it. Yeah, it's the variation, isn't it, boys? It's the variation. You go inside, you can go outside. It's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. You play a left-footed left back, a right-footed right back, and the variation in terms of what you can do on the football pitch in terms of build-up, you know, even just defensive display in terms of like figuring out your opponent, which side he's going to go, the balance of you. And going forward in particular, Matt, my goodness, mate, having that balance of Firpo and Bogle, it's the best in the division, man. Best in the division.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, we cried out for that in the last game, like that, just that width and getting to the byline at Firpo. And his balls, though, actually, the crossing was spot on. I mean, it's almost like identical in terms of the 2 goals he assisted with as well. But that's exactly what we need. We're not stifled down that side. Bogle doing what he does, again, brilliant. And I must say, Dan James today, I haven't seen him like that for a while.
Best performance in one of the best performances in the league. He was unbelievable. Yeah. Maybe it was the Swansea Cardiff thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
but yeah,
maybe the connection. Yeah, and he was just the thing is with Dan James is we know what he can do, but he goes through those patches where the final balls are just not good. But here, they were spot on every time. He picked that final pass to get the assists. He was looking up. He had that vision around him. And you can see when he's at that point, you can see why people can't handle him. He's actually maybe at this level, maybe at the next level, not sure. But back in those days, that's why Manchester United, I guess, had him and went for him, because he has got that in his locker. And I just was really pleased. He consistently showed that throughout that game today. And I'm so pleased Joseph scored. Hey. Interesting what he was like after, though. Don't know if you noticed.
No, I didn't hear it. What's happened?
He was quite calm. Didn't really want to shout. So I don't know whether that's him just thinking, I'm on it now, or, you know, this is it. I don't know. A little bit of body language. I'm not going to go negative. It's not negative because he scored. But I was so pleased for him. And hopefully that confidence now will go through from him into the next games, because that was really good. He got a goal.
Well, we were saying at the ground as well. We were like, please get if you're scoring 7 goals, please let Joseph score a goal. Please just let him in on the act. And when he scored, as you can imagine, lads, I was absolutely buzzing for him. And you know, and I'm buzzing for Peru, absolutely buzzing for him to get 2 off the bounce as well. That's him, I think, to 12 or 13 goals now. But so important that you get Joseph on the score sheet in a game like today, and isn't it, fellas? Massive.
Yeah. I think from the looks of him, I think he got a bit emotional. I think there's been a heavy weight on his shoulders, and I think that's been self-placed. To be fair, I think he knows what he can do. I think he knows his capabilities. He's not had the supply, like, he's not had the consistent supply to be able to put the ball back in the net. And I think today, Firpo, I said on the last stream, or when we were talking about James, that when we're talking about Joseph, that unless he's going to get those whippings, he's not going to get on the end of them. And I think today we proved it. I think today Firpo proved that, not just for Joseph, but also for Solomon, Aronson, as well as Dan James. Those cross balls, those cutbacks came across there thick and fast, and each time we just capitalised on them, very, very well.
I really enjoyed Rothwell coming back as well, Steve.
Yeah.
We said that, didn't we?
It's interesting for me today that Solomon and James played a lot more narrower than what than their wider stance. Instead of them coming in on the on the overlap or coming in cutting back. I thought that was that. We talk about crying out for a 9 and a 10. Well, today we had two almost makeshift 9s that were absolute that.
Do you want to talk about? I think Firpo 3 assists today. I mean, tactically, it's a different game, isn't it? It's a different game. What he can do body wise on the ball, how he can move with the ball, how Leeds' tempo doesn't suffer because of it. I think is absolutely massive. Like, look, we all love Byram. Everybody loves Byram. It's a free transfer, for goodness sake. What he's done for this Leeds United side is unequivocally excellent. It's very, very impressive.
Yeah.
But he's not on the same level as Firpo. He's just not.
He's defensive minded, and in this squad, if we want promotion, we can't be playing, at the back. We can't be playing balls moving forward, going back, moving forward, going back. We've got to find those through balls, and we've got to find the gaps in midfield and the gaps out wide. We've got to mix it up. But Firpo brings that. It's interesting, really, that his best games that he's had all season are the ones that he's had since he's come back injured. He's been rested. He's obviously not played much football, but it's not, not playing much football has only made him better, to be fair with you. I think in the last couple of games that he's come on, I think more especially in the last one, he was on fire. Then this time he came back. He played phenomenal today. Really did. Different player. Now whether we can keep hold of that, whether there's a conversation there whether we should keep hold of him or whether he wants to go, I don't know. But the way he's been playing this season, especially, I'd be heavy-hearted to let him go.
I know what you mean. I'm kind of getting that vibe with Firpo, to be honest. Nigel, SUFC, evening Connor banter aside, and rather that was a pretty impressive win. 7 goals, Nige. Do you know what I mean? I can see Leeds and the Blaze pulling away. Burnley are pretty poor at getting 3 points. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see with Marcus Edwards, lads. I don't know if you've kept tabs on that signing, but yeah, it's a big one for them. But at the end of the day, it's another 0-0. Look,
you've got to win your home games.
Yeah, and it's
you can't go 0-0 away, 0-0 home.
You can't, yeah, and that's where I'm at a little bit with it. It's like how many 0-0s are we gonna talk about here? Like, and this is kind of why I'm quite like big on the whole Sunderland hype, because at least kind of Sunderland, you know which way you're gonna get. Burnley, you draw yourself to the title. I don't know. I'm not sure.
You're going to draw yourself to the playoffs. That's it,
Joe says HMS pissed the league, leaving port as we speak. The team looked better with Firpo in. Rick says old, I like to say experienced. They're not going to lie. The scoreline in Burnley dropping points may be harder than Italian marble. Hurrah. It's Connor. Well, honestly, Connor, I've been bedbound with flu for the past 3 days. This has made my Saturday quite nicely. Honestly, what a performance onto commentary away. Yeah, well, it's Lampard and Matt Grimes, the narrative. Let's touch on, I want to touch on Tanaka. Lads, probably the best performance for me in 2 months. I thought he was unbelievable today under pressure. From their midfield, I thought as well, who, the early stages was quite combative. Matt, talk to me about Tanaka, mate.
Yeah, what can you say that we haven't said already about him? He's like, it was described by someone as like a metronome, just ticking it over. Doesn't matter if he's under pressure, still the same result. He just dictating that midfield in there. He is a player we've got to keep hold of. Do I say when we go up or if we go up now after that today? When? Should we go for when? When we go up, we got to keep hold of. He is a player we've got to keep hold of. He will operate in the Premier League, no problem. We have to be careful though. In the summer, that's when offers will come in for a player like that. Depending how we've got him,
Stinks of Brighton, doesn't it? Stinks of Brighton.
Again, yeah. So Tanaka, he's the complete player. He's back to his best. Really good. I mentioned earlier. I just think him and Rothwell. I was pleased Rothwell was back today. I just think those two together have got us to this position. So the more they're on form, the more they continue playing together, I think that ticks us over nicely. Rothwell, I just like how he charges. He's always pushing forward as well. He brings that drive.
He also drops back into a 3-man defence as well. I don't know if you've seen that. I've seen that more and more and more over the last few games. He often drops back when players kind of out wide or just sort of halfway down the field, he'll drop back. And I like that. I don't know whether that's a tactic from Farker. I don't know, but he's very. I'm not saying he's defensive minded. He's not. He's very forward. But I mean, there was a bit today. I can't remember when it was, and I can't remember who was around him. I was just thrilled everywhere. But there was a bit where he was defending at the back, and he was just running rings around this player where he had the ball at the back. I don't know if you can remember that. And then he kicked the ball off.
Steve, I just want to say, before we'll go a little bit further on, mate. Do any of you want to do the sponsorship advertisement, or do you want me to go with it?
IPM Group.
Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, if you want, go on. I'm excited to see what you go with, mate. Matt, you seemed a bit up for it then.
Yeah, I saw your video. So wanted to thank the sponsors, IPM Group, for Connor's One Leeds Fans channel. For all your security needs, they are the guys. Look them up.
Matt, I absolutely love that, mate.
Is that right?
Well done, my man. Yeah, guys, IPM Group UK, unbelievable security sponsor. Matt does a better job than me, but way more articulate than I am. Make sure you check that out in the comment section below. Matt, come back to you, man. I'm going to bat that straight back to you, man. Dan James. Probably the best game I've seen him in a Leeds shirt this season. I know we've spoken about him briefly, but let's go into depth on Dan James. I thought his decision making today, I thought the balls into the box. I thought even that first goal where it's just like, composure. He stopped. It's not erratic. He stopped. He's put the defender on his ass, played the ball into Brendan Aronson. That is a culmination of exactly Premier League Dan James that hopefully we're hoping for. Fantastic performance from him today. Wow.
Yeah, that's him. And like we said, that I just like the way that he was looking up today. He knew everything that was going on around him, played the best pass, assisted. That bit you mentioned as well. Again, you think sometimes he might panic and kick it out or it hits the defender. But to look up and play that back to Solomon, unselfish awareness, that's why we've got him at the club. And I said that's why other clubs have had him and looked at him. I would be keeping him as well for the Premier League, just to see again what he can do as one of our main players like Tanaka. Performances like that, if he can now be consistent with that to the end of the season, we've got to keep him.
Yeah, I think he'd do a job for us. Definitely. I think he's worth keeping hold of.
You even look at like on that right hand side, don't you? Like Gnonto, lads, I was so buzzing for him. When he came on, went on that little run. I remember saying to everyone in and around me, like, please come on and do something. Please come on. He just absolutely takes on 2 or 3 men and just drives it in with his left foot. And this is the thing, Steve, Matt, this is the thing. Like, this is what he can produce. That is class. That is Premier League quality. And this is what I keep saying. It's like, oh, he's got an attitude problem. Oh, he's not good enough. He's not this. He's not that. It's like, you know he is. Like, just come on. Look at that finish. That is a really, really difficult finish for the majority of our team to do. Like, that is like the technical level to be able to do that. I was so impressed by how he just came off the bench, took on like 2 or 3 men and plants it in with his left foot, like almost Millwall style from last season. We've got to stick with this lad, haven't we? Like, Willie Gnonto is different bracket, isn't he?
I think I like Gnonto. I think I know you've said you like him in a 10. I personally think he's better coming. He's down the flank cutting in. Last season he was phenomenal doing that. And this year, I don't know what's going on with him this year. Maybe, like I said, maybe his nose is a bit pushed out of joint, not getting the games. Maybe we don't know, but we're not privy to that. So I mean, I was happy with him today. For me, I like Gnonto, but I think he's still got a lot to learn. I think he holds onto the ball far too long. He either gets a goal or he runs into traffic. That's it. That's it with him. There's no 2 other ways. He's not a supplier. He doesn't get the ball into contact for anybody else. He very rarely. He's all about getting the goal. And I get that. He's a forward and he's very forward thinking, and that's fine. But I think sometimes, as much as I like him, I do think he holds on to the ball sometimes a little bit too long for me.
Matt?
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult with Gnonto because, as you say, you can come on and do that. The last couple of games he's come on, he hasn't done that much. He's obviously not in form or in favour at the moment, but there is a player there that we have seen before. And again, I just hope that this, a bit like with Joseph, maybe getting a goal coming on, being part of that 7-0 win today, gives him a bit more confidence again, and maybe he comes back into form. Because once he's in form, again, Gnonto is one of those players we want to keep and we can have in the Premier League and keep him in the Premier League. But does he just need a confidence booster? Maybe that was it today, to push him on like a couple of other players. So hopefully that for me is it.
Mate, what do you think to Dan James? Like, I keep going back to him. It's not like me going one way then the other, but this guy seems to be. I know it's a very like obvious way of putting it, but he seems to be extremely Leeds, doesn't he? At the minute, he seems to have bought into everything that is the club. I just get a bit of and people have spoken to him around Leeds. He absolutely feels and loves the club. What do Leeds do with him? Do we like? Is this like the starter in the Premier League? Like when you've got Willie Gnonto, Ramazani, because a lot of people say to me, Connor, don't disrespect him. I love Dan James. I absolutely love him. But how do we look at this guy long term? Because he feels like he's absolutely bought into everything Leeds United. This season, he's had a fantastic season. And today is just like almost the... And look, we're in... What date are we on, fellas? The 1st of February. We've still... May is when we get promoted, hopefully. But there's a long way to go right now. But, right now, he is really embedding himself into Leeds United culture, isn't he?
He's Premier League. If we've got him still, he starts. He starts for me because
really if you go to the Premier League and they're offering you another right winger, if they're offering you Willie Gnonto potentially, you're still going down with. I'm not saying that's the wrong option, by the way. I'm playing devil's advocate right now.
I just think what tips it slightly for me, if he stays consistent in this form, is he does have Premier League experience. The other guys don't have it as much. So Ramazani hasn't at all. Gnonto's got a bit. So if we're talking about someone who's in form, knows, has bought into the club, knows a little bit that Premier League next season, there's no reason why he shouldn't start. unless he has a dramatic dip or something and then becomes not bothered in summer, which I don't think would happen. But I think he starts because he's got that little bit of edge with that experience, that Premier League experience, and then we see what happens.
I like Dan James. I think he's amazing. And this is not a but. This is just a point. This is just, you come from the Premier League, you drop down to the Championship. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes it's you got to go back. You've got to go backwards to move forward. I think two things. I think he's starting to hit his prime, and I think he's happy at Leeds. That's plainly evident to see. You don't even hear any Welsh in him anymore. You don't even hear any Mancunian in him or Manchester's accent anymore. He's even talking a bit Leeds. You know what I mean, mate? You know, I was talking a bit like that. But
speaking a bit like Matt.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. But I think when you buy a Premier League player, which he was, and he's been in the Championship for a few years, he's not a Premier League player anymore. He's a Championship player, and the step down makes him look phenomenal. And I think at this level, he's amazing. And I think against the second half down, and I'll include Man United in that because they're crap. Maybe he's going to be. That's where he's going to be effective. When he gets to the upper tier, and people are going to chop the living daylights out of him, you know, it might be a different story. But that's all. But at the minute, you can't. He's unplayable. You know, when he's on his game. When he gets in the right positions, when he gets those balls in, you know, you just know it's going in the back of the net. You know, I'm not being negative. I think he's brilliant, but I don't think he will be as effective in the Premier League, and I hope I'm wrong. But I think against the lower half of the Prem, I think he plays it.
Steve, do Leeds need another number 9?
No. No, and I don't think we need a number 10. We keep Pirro back. I've said that countless times. Keep him deep. Let him run. Let him do what he did today. Because whatever Farker said to him in midweek. I also want to make a point as well. Yes, he played brilliant coming from deep. But if you can and watch the highlights and the replay, watch him when he's in the box. He's useless. He can't operate in the box. Pirro's best position is and his effectiveness always comes from deep.
Matt,
I said before, I don't think we need any more players. The amount of goals we've got, I know everyone's chipping in. Like today was
60 goals.
Yeah, today was a great example, wasn't it? Like 6 different goal scorers. Pretty got a couple. So everyone's chipping in, and at this point, I said before, I don't think we need any more players that are going to walk straight into the team and unsettle some of the other players. Matt.
If I said we were just speaking a little bit off air.
Yeah.
Let's look at the players that we might be going and getting. Right, Rothwell potentially. Right, I think us lot might have a different conversation, and everyone in the chat about Rothwell potentially coming into Leeds United. Solomon, okay, 10 mil plus if we were to go and get him, easy. And there's injury records there, Premier League. You know, is there that adaptability? But let's say hypothetically, Leeds go and do him and Rothwell, 20 million plus, okay. Cameron Archer is going to be a £20 million obligation. Can you really, without him proving it at all, Premier League level? And as much as people get giddy about Cameron Archer at this level, which I understand, you know, he'd definitely fire Leeds up. I think that would be the unequivocal difference. Matt, I'm going to come to you first. Can Leeds go and get Cameron Archer with a loan as an obligation to 15 to 20 million, with him being our starting signing, with the context point of us, a lot of us anyway, taking the mick out of Sheffield United for going and getting Tom Cannon for 10 million quid to bring into the Premier League?
That obligation bit to buy for 20 mil in the Premier, I don't think...
It's going to have to be an obligation. There's no way it's an option. No.
Yeah. No. I just don't think our ownership would go for that either. I think it's too risky for them. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it. And I've said before, we just need one position, keeper. We will spend the money big in the summer. That's what we should wait to do.
Agreed.
When we've got that Premier League status and we can attract more players than just this pool in January that we're focusing on so desperately in some ways. I do see the argument for more players in general.
Would you rather hold then, Matt? Would you rather hold now and then go for Premier League big expenditure?
I would hold, put more money in that summer and have a wider pool of players that want to come to us because we've got that status. And because what we've got now in the squad, how we're scoring, how we're shaping up, hold.
Because I feel like right now, like if you're looking at Archer, which a lot of the fan base are, we've got 2 or 3 days to get that signing completed. From what I know, lads, and I've delved a little bit to you boys, Juric doesn't like him. Onowuchu is his second striker with Armstrong. I know from a pretty nigh-on source that he is going to be leaving. And there is a conversation about Borough being in the picture and Leeds being in the picture, obviously, like we know. But this is a 100% unequivocal 15 to 20 million pound obligation. It is. No, I can say that. It's not even, we're not even talking. I can say that for a fact. And that has been from 2 or 3 people I know who are very close to the scenario. It's a fact. It'll be 15 to 20 million quid. Now, that's not going to blow you out the water, but I just think when we go Premier League, lads, if we were to go Premier League, you're looking at potentially Rothwell. You're definitely looking at, they're definitely going to try to do Solomon. I think they're definitely going to try to do Solomon. So you take Rothwell out, even if they try to do Solomon, they're then going to have to do Archer. This is my worry with it. If they do Archer, we've already scored 60 goals now. We're way ahead of everybody in terms of goals scored. Way ahead. And everybody thinks, this is the thing, lads. Everybody thinks we've got a problem in the number 9. Oh, Joseph, Peru. Oh, we've got these issues. Oh, problem. Scored 60 goals. So scored 60 goals. We've got February, March, April, May left. We've scored 60 goals.
Here's a question for you. How many teams in the Premier League have scored 60 goals already? And I know we're in the Championship, right? How many teams in the Premier League have scored 60 goals and we're a month after Christmas?
It's, for me, I've said this to Matt and you before, like
I just don't see number one when if we want a number 9.
Is he a Premier League number 9? Is he a Premier League number 9? So we're gonna have to invest in him. He's gonna have to be the guy. Sheffield United have invested in Tom Cannon. He's the guy.
Yeah, but they've invested to raise their profile of their squad. They've got 30. They've got half the football league sat on their bench that they can't play every week. So how are they gonna? Number one, they've probably got 2 or 3 different styles of players and squads in there. Different styles of playing there, but I don't understand. I don't see the logic in what Sheffield United are doing. I'm not saying that. Look, they don't have the quality, but I also don't think they have the manager that can jigsaw that all together. It's okay going out and getting this one, getting that one, and bear in mind that everyone who was saying we need Kiefer Moore, we need this one, we need Adam, all the players that we were chasing last summer. Where are they? There's all these people that were crying out, and half of them will be in the chat, and they'll be saying, "No, we should go get Kiefer Moore." Well, what's Kiefer Moore done this year? Nothing. You know what I mean? I think for us to go and spend £20 million I like that. For us to go in January and spend 20 million quid on a player that sat on the bench or been injured and scored I think he's played what, handful of matches, 12 matches.
A lot in it. It's a lot. It just
Yeah,
feels. It feels like if that's gonna be, if it's an obligation, Matt, it feels like a lot, mate. Like Steve's quite rightly said. For me,
is he? Can he come straight into the squad, mate? Can he do that? Is he gonna? You know, if for him to come in, we've got to drop somebody.
Yeah, who do we? That's what I was about to say. Like, if Archer comes in, who do we take out then?
This is it, Matt. It's like, I mean, he's like, let's be honest, like Peru, and this is the thing, like, two things can't be right within this fan base a lot of the time. You can't think that Joseph needs more minutes and rate Peru, of which I do. I do rate Peru. I think Peru brings something different. I don't think he's a Premier League acclimatization player, but I think he brings something different to Joseph. Would I rather start Joseph? Yeah, but that doesn't mean I'm right. That means that, you know, I think two things can be right. I think Peru is a good player in some games. I think Joseph is a good game in the other. But overall, Archer comes in. Then what happens to Peru? Because Peru just get unless Archer's in the 10. But that just there's no way he's coming in and going in the 10. That just doesn't feel like Archer would come in and be happy with going in the 10 either. There's no way.
But there's no. But also you got to think about. Farke, right? Farke's no way going to. So Peru scored goals. Is Farke going to turn around and say, "Thanks, Joel. You've done it now up to February the 1st. Thanks a lot. We've got Arch coming in now.
You're going to play second fiddle.
Yeah, you're up playing second fiddle or stepping aside now because we'll finish off the season without you. Maybe you'll come on as impact." Yeah,
Matt is the second top scorer in the division.
But can I also say this, yeah? Can I also say this? We may have played like absolute giants today, but mark my words, that we will revert back to a few more games where we play like we did against Burnley. Farke would rather draw on some of these top games that are coming up. Probably Sheffield Wednesday, probably Sunderland. We're probably going to slow it back down. That's my feelings. You know, the slow, boring, technical, you know, possession-based football where we're not going to go forward. That's not over. That's not over. You know, when it gets, I reckon that once we played Sheffield United, once we played Sunderland, the style of play you saw today will blow teams away. I think last week was a technical. I've kind of flipped my mind about it. I think last week was more of a technical point than what it was a game that we must go out and win. I think he would rather lose than actually lose, you know.
Imagine if we took this though today into those other games.
Yeah, imagine.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
I just can't see the goal, the style of play that we had against Burnley last week being that's going to be the end of it, because it isn't.
Well, Prophet says, hey, Connor, hi from the Bahamas. Oh, lads, it'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Shout out to you, Prophet. I'm sure you're having a great time out there. You know who I am. They should. Yeah. Let us fly us out there, mate, if you would. It's dark over here at the minute. And look, Matt is a suddenly based Leeds fan as well, and it's still dark there as well. They should have put in Bamford, even if he should have scored today. Mate, leave Bamford out at all times. I was getting Patrick Bamford chanted at me at the Leeds game today, so I can unequivocally make up for him. Archer's tricky. Do we need him? No. I'm not sure. I am not sure we do, especially after today and the 60 goals, man. Like 60 goals in, and we're just into February, and Ramazani's not even been released yet, in my opinion. Again,
that's a good point. Sorry, Connor, that's a good point. Mate. And people have said that. That is one thing, though, injuries. That is a good point. Because if we do get, I know Pro's got pretty good record, though, I think, of not
very
good.
Good. Very good.
If something was to happen, then are we in trouble then, or are we too short? Or again, do we just rely on the rest chipping in like today? Which I do think at this point we would have to.
But where do we need to just play devil's advocate then? Where do we need to? So if you look at the squad, right? If you're Leeds United and you're getting certain parts of the fan base having an absolute meltdown about us not going in and getting number 9. So you get Joseph, obviously he's on 3 goals, 4 assists or whatever it is. Not ideal, but hopefully this is going to, send him on a little bit. You got Peru, the second top goal scorer in the league. You got Dan James, who's on 7. Gnonto's on 6. You've then got Ramazani, who's on 6, 7. You've then got
Brendan Aronson's chipped in, hasn't he, as well?
Brendan's chipped in, Solomon's chipped in. I'm just kind of looking at it and I'm like, okay, how, like, I'll be honest, lads, sometimes I'm a bit like, how entitled is the fan base? What do we need? Like, we need this, we need another 20 goal a season striker to come in. It's like, it's just not, like, why? Like, what to push us over the edge? Well, to push us over the edge, go and get the hologram out the net, go and get the polo mint out the net and actually save you to a stance of which, you've stopped a Norwich goal, a Preston goal, a Portsmouth goal, a Sunderland goal, Swansea goals, Hull goals going in, and you are literally on the same stance defensively as Burnley, which we would be. People keep telling me, "Oh, Connie, you've been dramatic." I'm telling you, without this guy in net, and obviously, you can rationalise for goals here and there. I understand, like, another goalkeeper might have made 2 or 3 other mistakes, but the guy in between the goals right now, without him, I'm telling you, lads, we'd be near a defensive record as Burnley. I'm convinced of it. I'm convinced of a good goalkeeper, of the level of Trafford, even, of Cooper, of Ainsley Pears, of Palmer at West Bromwich Albion. We literally would be at a similar level to what Burnley are at right now. So I'm kind of looking at the squad. I'm looking at the depth. I'm looking at the options that we have right now. I'm seeing it as mass panic for no reason. I'm seeing it as mass panic because other teams are doing stuff right now. That's my head thoughts right now. I completely get going out and getting a striker in a number 10. The reasons beyond that, but I'm then a little bit like I'll throw back the thought process once again. We're in dire need of a striker today. We've scored 7 goals.
But Connor, we've got 18 clean sheets this season. We're not far behind Burnley anyway. You know what I mean? We haven't got exactly the same, but we're not playing boring football like them. We've got 18 clean. I think it's 18 clean sheets.
I think I could get the panic for number 9 if we were a bit earlier in the season and we were misfiring, hardly scoring, struggling. Then January comes around, then I'll be thinking, yeah, striker. But the 60 goal thing, for me, it makes it so we don't have to panic for that number 9, because I think we've got enough overall to get through to May. And as I said, I think if this was earlier in the season, I would get the panic and I'd be screaming for number 9 as well. But we have got to this point on 60 goals, smashed 7 today.
Without looking, Matt, without looking, I'm looking at Steve's eyes as well. What do you reckon the second most goals are in the top 6? Steve, I'm watching your eyes, so don't you dare start searching, mate.
No, my hands are here.
What do you reckon amount of goals? So we've scored 60, but do you reckon second is?
30 something? Late 30s?
Steve?
34.
So the second amount of goals is Sunderland in 4th on 42. We've scored 60.
Yeah.
I'm just...
You know what? If we're going to go out and get a striker, right? Why can't we find another gem like Tanaka? You can't tell me they're not out there, because they are, right? Or Ramazani. Half of what we will pay. Well, the only reason we're paying 20 million for Camarach is because he's dropping down for a Premier League. I'm probably deciding his contract.
Dimka said in the top 6, mate. If they are in the top 6, no, they're not in the top 6. I just think if you're going to go up to the Premier League, lads, I'd worry about Archer. If we're gonna put that much money on him, I'm a little bit. I'd be excited at the signing. Don't get me wrong, I'd be excited at the signing, but I think a lot of Leeds fans, if I'm honest, it's short term. It's how we'll get up, but it's like, but you're gonna have an obligation. It's gonna be 15-20 million quid for this geezer. Do you know what I mean?
Look, when we get to the Premier League, we're going to have players coming out as left, right, and centre from all over the world that are going to be 30, 40, 50 million plus. Where do you draw the line? Where do you start and where do you draw the line? I think that 49 is a lot on the checkbook. I really do. And I think also maybe possibly the Red Bull stable, hopefully, fingers crossed, will start cross-pollinating from all the clubs that they've got. You know, they must have players earmarked that we could have, I'm sure. But even think about it logically, 20 million plus player. Not even Sheffield United have paid 20 million for the player, and he's to come down and drop into champions.
We're all laughing at him. We're all laughing at the fact that they've looked at Tom Cannon for 10 million quid, and that's their big investment in it, obligation wise. That's their big investment, and they're going to have to take him to the Premier League. They've got to be. I just think they've got to be careful about this with Archer. They've got to be careful.
But they've also got Brendan Diaz, who's not done anything since he left Blackburn.
Yeah, well, he scored today, but I know what you mean.
Oh, I ain't seen the results yet.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. If you're gonna bring somebody in for quality, not for bodies on the bench or as a backup or whatever. You know, that's why I've said, you know, let 49ers. We're okay. I don't want to go on about the 90 points thing. I'm looking at the goals that we've scored. If we were top and we only had like 32 goals, for example, right? Which I know we wouldn't be there if we had 32 goals, right? But if we did, then yeah, go out and buy. But I've said before, if we're going to go out,
Burnley need to go out and buy. They're not scoring enough goals. Burnley have to. They have to go out and buy.
They don't have the quality. But if we're going to buy, we need to have somebody, number one, with a good sell-on value. Number two, who's going to be effective, not just here but in Premier League. And Ramazani, he's going to be effective wherever he goes. You know,
are those teams also buying up to get up to our level of squad? That's the other thing we've talked about before.
Yeah.
You know, are those other teams panicking because they're thinking, you know, bloody hell, we're on 60 goals. We're like, you know, we're behind there. We've got to increase our quality in our squads.
If I was,
and that doesn't mean we have to, because maybe we're there.
But Matt, don't you think Sheffield Wednesday should be more worried about Sunderland instead of us?
Sheffield United.
Sorry, Sheffield United. Yeah.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luke says they're businessmen at the end of the day. If they want to spend 20 million on him, let them, and I trust them to go big. But the thing is, Luke, with that is it's just not real. I don't think realistically the 49ers, if they're to go out and outlay 20 million quid right now with like an obligation, so we'll get him on loan. Let's say hypothetically Cameron Archer comes to Leeds, obligation right now in the summer, we're then not going to go and get a striker. 4-2-3-1 system with Daniel Farke. You're going to keep Peru there because he's on a big contract as well. You know, Joseph might be loaned out for the second part of the season. You'd expect if Leeds are obviously, you know, in the championship right now. So we'd have, you know, Archer, let's say Peru, and then Joseph would maybe go out on loan potentially. There's no way in the Premier League. We're going out and getting another attacker. I just don't see it. As in a 4-2-3-1 system, which Farke plays unequivocally, they're not going to do it. I don't see it. With the amount of business they're going to have to do with like 7 or 8 places. I just don't see it, lads.
You reckon there's a possibility that Farke loses that ultimate control over what does and doesn't come in?
Do we have enough to go up, Steve? Do we have enough right now to go up? Yeah or no?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Matt, what do you reckon?
100%. We're February now. We're too far into the season to be thinking or panicking that we need those extras. I do get the injury thing though, but I think
I get it.
Yeah, but at this point, with what we've got shown also by today, we just power through. As I've said, the only one I'd like
7-0. 7-0.
I'd like to, if there is something in the transfer window, and again, we don't know what's going on in the background, so someone could come through. It's just the keeper bit. I would have liked to have seen, or maybe see something happen. I know I've got a couple of days left, but that department for me has always been what I would agree with. We need somebody else.
That's what I'll never understand. It's the fact that we need a striker, but we've scored 60 goals, but we don't need a goalkeeper, and he's thrown about 8 or 9 goals in. That's what I can't get. And that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, I did a poll the other day, lads, and it was 62% think that we need a striker. I cannot. And look, it's subjective. Football subjective. You lads can come on and disagree with me. Anyone in the chat can do as well. I was speaking to the lads down there who disagreed with me today. You have a goalkeeper who is going to, by trends and patterns, do the same thing in the second half of the season. This is what he's going to do. He's going to cost Leeds more points. He's not going to save Leeds games. He's going to cost us more points. So if he costs us more points, it puts more pressure on the front line. So then people are saying, well, then we need more frontline options to alleviate the pressure from Meslier. Well, just put another goalkeeper in. Just go and get rid of that problem at the back. And right now, everything is fine. Everything is okay. We're scoring enough goals. Keep the front part of the pitch fine. You know, we're okay right now. Get rid of that at the back. But there seems to be a thing now where we have to go and get Cameron Archer. We have to go and get a number 10. We have to go and unequivocally get attacking options. And I'm like, just sort the guy out at the back, and we are fine.
Yeah. If we were desperate for a striker, we won't be top. If we were desperate for a number 9 or desperate for a number 10, we won't still be top. We'd start slipping because we won't be able to score goals. Fact.
It's strange. The goalkeeper situation is strange. Maybe it's just not a glamorous enough role that they need to focus on. Maybe, you know, it's the attackers that have all the kind of glory in general and what people look about and rave about and talk about most, maybe. Because there must be something inside.
You get this a lot. Logan Leeds, okay, what Connor will be available? Go get Johansson. If we've got the money to turn around and say for Cameron Archer, we can spend 20 million quid on him in the summer with an obligation. Go and get Johansson right now. 5 to 7 million quid from Stoke, who are in financial disarray. Go and get him, because every single season he's improving. Rotherham, Stoke, he improves every single season. In the summer, there are going to be Premier League clubs looking at him. Go and get Johansson right now, and I would be so happy. That's it. It's done.
Burnley.
Yeah. That's what I'd do. That's what I'd be doing. I just think this whole notion of a striker, of a number 10, to me, lads, it's not where we should be looking at for me.
Definitely at the back. And I also, as well, we keep getting linked to players that are like we're overstacked in positions like midfielders or, you know, centre midfielders or, you know, right. But you know, we've got a stack of them, and half of them can't even get on the field. You know what I mean? So,
and as well, Steve, it's like we're dominating games so much that the keeper's not going to have a shout. Well, we won 10 games on the bounce, and then at the back end of the season, we won 3 games in 11. Are we this ignorant to not believe that this would happen again? Are we not at least like in touch with reality to think that there's going to be at least 4 or 5 games based on, you know, teams fighting for the survival at this level, you know, teams fighting for whatever, you know, maybe in terms of playoffs, that they're going to up their game by 5-10%, that we're going to have to deal with a team that is going to, you know, gain a little bit of momentum in games, and the keeper is going to be tested, because we know it's going to happen. It's not just going to be like plain sailing for Leeds United until the end of the season. And this is the problem I think some Leeds fans maybe have. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to dominate games. We're too good, this, that, and the other. It's like, well, no, there are going to be points in the season of which Elan Meslier is going to have to bail Leeds United out of situations. It can't just be down to the defence and the attack.
No, I know. But I also, that's why I made the point earlier about the fact that we're not with the game against Burnley. There's going to be a few more of them. There's going to be, and it's painful to watch. And we're going to sit here and we're going to complain about it. But I think before we sit and complain about it, I think we need to realise that, all right, Burnley, the third, they're a threat. Sheffield United, the second, they're a threat. Sunderland are even bigger threat than those two combined. You know, so there's gonna be more games where we play, and we play atrocious, but we get a result. We don't come away with a loss. You know, that's why I'm saying there will still be more games where we play like we did against Burnley. We've got to expect that. You know, but I'm just
like this. This is where I'm at, Steve, with what Wayne said.
Yeah, but if we're not going to get a keeper, we can't blaze. We're not going to be able to blaze up and down the pitch. We can't, because if anything happens, we get caught on the break. We know exactly what's going to happen. It's going to.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think,
Under pressure.
I think Melio is going to be tested further down the line. So I was just thinking, imagine if it was right. We won 7-0 today, but imagine if we come up against teams like Cardiff, like later on, back end of the season, when they're fighting relegation for their lives.
Oxford, Preston, Bristol City.
Yeah, it's going to be a totally different type of game potentially, where then it's going to come down to our defence more than maybe the attack and our goalkeeper.
Stinks of years ago. Do you remember years ago it was like 1-0 against Barnsley, and Barnsley just battered us for like 80 minutes, and we just had to get through it, and it was 1-0, and it was like, come on, just get through this game.
Just anything to get through, but those tests are going to come, and that's why I was praying that we're not tempted to keep conversation about our goalkeeper, because we would have missed the window then and everything, and that's what we're stuck with then to the end of the season. Just pray we don't go like last season.
Yeah, I don't think we will.
But overall, lads, let's finish it off. What a win!
Brilliant.
7-0. 7-0. Like
amazing.
Back round to
1 page of notes.
I said to Steve at one point, I had tears in my eyes when the 3-4 fathers going in. When I was going like that, I thought, oh, what's that? Oh, God. I was starting to have tears emotionally.
Got to enjoy it, haven't we, lads? We got to enjoy it. I find it difficult. It's like content creator. Like, I find it difficult a lot of the time to enjoy the journey and not just focus too much on the destination. But we know, look, this will happen. Leeds United go up to the Premier League. We're going to get drilled. We're like week in, week out with the odd win in like 4, maybe like 6 or 7 games. We're going to get the odd win.
Yeah,
it's kind of these wins. We've got to just like bask in it, haven't we, lads? We've just got to be like, do you know what? 7-0. Like the first time we've done that in our history since Southampton, Burnley back in the 60s, 70s. Like, you've just got to kind of embrace it, haven't you? What an unbelievable win!
In 53 years since the last won 7-0. I'm 54 next month, right? And that's why I got a bit teary-eyed earlier. I texted you, Matt, and I said, I'm sorry, mate, I got to take my dog for a walk. Yeah, you know. But yeah. I mean, let's not, even though we're talking about this, that, and the other tonight, let's not take anything away from how beautiful the game was today, you know.
Yeah, this is the feelings you just want to remember and keep forever, because of the high that you get from stuffing them 7-0 with this team. Absolutely amazing. We got the same score as a Premier League team did today, didn't we?
Yeah, Nottingham Forest.
We should be in the Premier League, that means, right?
Forest 7, Brighton 0.
You don't hear a 7-0 anymore. You don't. It's 1-0, 2-0, 3-1, you know? Maybe 5. And I thought at 5, really, there can't be any more.
Lads, we've got to embrace it, though, haven't we? We've got to embrace it. We've got to be happy. We've got to be happy. We've got to indulge, you know. And this is why I'm like, do we need it? Do we, like, look how good we are? Like, it was like 4-0 today, and you're bringing on Ramazani, Gnonto, Joseph, and I'm like, imagine if you're a Cardiff player. Imagine if you were Cardiff, you're looking at that going, fucking hell. Really?
Not only that, what message does that send out now for every single club that we play? Because there must be, I mean, we've got Coventry on Wednesday, and, you know, what are they? What, you know, after watching today, you don't think Fat Frank with his little ball spot's not going to be sitting there thinking, oh,
mate, I am. Look, I hate this game. I think you lads know I hate this game more than any other game in the division. I'd rather be facing Wilder and Sheffield United right now. Fat Frank in Coventry he's just brought Matt Grimes in. Oh, it's just horrible. It's like, it's disgusting. But we go there and we win, lads.
Yeah.
We go there and we win. They're not as good as us. I don't care who they've got in that side. We go there and we win. Simple.
Can I say it's a must win, or is that?
No, I get it. I get it. It's momentum, isn't it? It's momentum.
Yeah, confidence, momentum into that. We're better. We're a better team. So must win again. I think. Let's keep it going.
Absolutely.
It's been great.
Yeah, the beauty is right now we're what 5 points clear, 5 points clear, and the GD is very, very healthy as well. Let's keep going, boys. Let's keep doing it. So
yeah, exactly.
Right, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 hour in. What? 1 hour in, guys. We're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining the panel on your post-match chat. Absolutely loved it. These two gorgeous gentlemen above me are supporting the channel to the nth degree, and they are amazing people. I really appreciate you coming on the Instant Match Reaction and supporting us via the Patreon as well, everybody. If you want to get involved in that, it really helps the channel go forward. Link in the description below. These two are Gary Kelly tier members, and obviously I really appreciate them being part of this. Thank you so much. We are sponsored by APM Group UK as well, everybody. Link in the description below. Make sure you check out Rick and the gang who made it today possible for myself. An amazing day with a lift, which helped. A lift with my crutches. Thank you so much, everyone, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
Cheers.